Stephen. First of all, I hope you're all enjoying the weather. I am not. It doesn't agree with me with my hay fever. It's very uncomfortable, and I just don't like it. Although I'm going to Ibiza soon and Bali shortly after that, so I suppose I better get used to it. A bit of housekeeping. There's some sound issues on the last video, so if you're watching this, the sound issues are now resolved. I've invested in a microphone, so let's see how this goes. Yes. Sorry about the sound issues. It's too late to do anything about it, and I just want to get that video out there. But hopefully that will no longer be an issue. Also, housekeeping-wise, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I wasn't going to do a video today, partially because of the weather, and I'm getting ready to watch Spurs. Actually, I can't believe it's 2 years we were in the Super Cup. 2 years to the day. I was there actually in Athens for that game. I spent a few days in Santorini, and then went to Athens to watch the game, and it was the hottest I've ever been inside a football stadium. And I include the Champions League final. I've never been so hot as I was in Athens. Never. I thought I was going to faint. Thankfully, though, we didn't go to extra time. It went straight to penalties, and we won. So everyone was a winner. As there were some sound issues in the last video, I'm going to just quickly give my thoughts on the Savio Rodrigo transfer. Spurs made a bid that was rejected the other day. I don't think they ever realistically thought that would be accepted. I don't see how they did. Although they must have had a sniff off City that City are open to it, and that Savio is open to the move. So I do expect some movement on that soon, just out of just a hunch. I don't know anything, just a hunch. I did hear someone on one of these sorts of channels that it was rejected because the offer is on the drip. Now, most football transfers happen on the drip. Not many are paid in cash up front. The spaced over months and years, but it's not really a problem from a cash flow perspective, because you can get companies discount that. It's got invoice discounting. You take your invoice to a service provider. They give you the money. It's cash for you to take your cash flow, and they take a percentage of when that invoice is paid. We do it in our business, so I can't imagine someone would not be doing that for City, Tottenham, or whoever at this level. Savio's agent's been busy, hasn't he, telling everyone what the price is. The price he suggested probably seems a bit toppy to me, if I'm honest, particularly for Tottenham, and particularly for someone with only 1 year Premier League experience. I expect it'll be done for something like 60 million quid, 55 up front, and 50 million and 5 million in reasonable add-ons, reasonable and achievable add-ons, and I think that will get it done. I know a lot of fans are curious as to Daniel Levy's motives, and that he's going to drag it all out because he doesn't like City and we don't like dealing with him and all the rest of it. They just hired a new director of football, and I accept he's under some instruction, but is he really going to be taking minute by minute instructions off Levy to drag this out as long as possible? To shaft City. Doesn't seem likely to me, although there is a risk that there is only a market of one, and that is Spurs. I can't think of any other Premier League team who, one, got the money, and two, have a space for him. So I do think there is a market of one. But I think Tottenham could do 55 mil plus 5, can't they? They're a Premier League team in the Champions League. Madison's injured, Kulusevski's injured. They need players. They've got a new manager. They need something to get excited about. And what can't? And you obviously must be excited by a young Brazilian winger until you see him play. That is, I'm joking. I think he does have some potential. Hopefully we can. Hopefully let Spurs bid for him and let them wear the risk, and us get someone ready-made in Rodrigo. And that Rodrigo deal seems pretty easy to do, doesn't it? Once we've got the cash from Savio, he wants to leave by all accounts. City wants him by all accounts, and I think that's. I think that'd be pretty easy to do. The only issue is timing. But the big boys aren't they? We signed Robinho in a couple of hours. I'm sure 15 years later, longer, 17 years later, we've got the facilities to be able to get Rodrigo out of Madrid. if it comes to that. But City are in a position of strength, really, aren't they? They don't really want to sell Savio. So Spurs want to buy him. They've got to buy him. This is a hostile purchase, really, as far as City are concerned. He's not on the market, I don't think. And they've offered a poor amount. They can up it, and then they can have it. Straightforward. If you don't want to know, we'll keep him. He played a lot for us last year. We bought upgrades this year with obviously Mamouche and Cherky, and then he can play for the bench. Foden's back, and then we'll see how he does next season. So it's pretty win-win for City, really, on the Savio stroke Rodrigo front, assuming Savio gets more than one goal next year. It's a win-win. Anyway, so the thumbnail is about goalkeepers. So let's have a quick chat about the goalkeepers, shall we? Ederson, apparently, come out this morning that City aren't interested in selling him. They've had no real offers. I just don't believe a word of it, quite frankly. He is an international standard goalkeeper, Champions League winner, who has a year left on his contract, who's been trying to leave for the last 2 years, more or less. So I don't see any world in which no one's really approached City to discuss it. It just doesn't seem likely. But yeah, I mean, should we let him go? I mean, to me, it's a big thank you to Ederson. Again, I said before, I'm biased. He's had to sign my daughter's City shirt. Funnily enough, I've got a Galatasaray one that he could sign before he goes. He knows who I am. And they're offering him a record wage. And if he wants to go there, he can go there. But it's about time Galatasaray stumps up the dough, because I am very, very worried about going into this game on Saturday with James Trafford in there. I'm very, very nervous. And I know my YouTube short yesterday and my blue sky messages and even the things I say on here made me sound like a Trafford hater. It's not that I'm a hater. It's that I think he's probably a bit at this moment, given his CV and what the job it is that he's applied for. So hopefully he's up for it, but hopefully we can get Ederson out the door Thursday, tomorrow being Thursday, and Donnarumma in. Again, it should be a pretty easy deal to do. I know people are worried about what he can do with his feet. I am a little bit as well, but no one's going to be Ederson. There is no Ederson, so forget it. There is no one going to, so forget that one. So what do? Do we look for someone who's fickle with his feet, a fickle shot stopper, or do we go right? We've not been dominating possession, particularly in the big games, as much as we would like, and some saves would be useful. So let's go down that route. Had a good chat with Blue Sky Exchange with City Tactics today, and he says he doesn't see it. This time last night I didn't see it either. But the more I've thought about it, you think, well, Pepe Viana's not gone rogue, has he? Viana's not gone rogue. He's not decided with being in Ederson and getting him. Whilst he is sort of director of football, sport director, he is still a club with a strategy. So I think Pep would have had a big influence in it. Also, you've got to bear in mind as well, Luis Enrique is his mate. Is his mate from Barcelona. What's he going to do? Not phone him up and ask him what his opinion is. And I know Enrique said they want to play a different style, have some better playing out from the back. I accept all that, but they do play in France, don't they? They are going to have more of the ball, so that is a bit more of a risk they can take, particularly with a young goalkeeper that they just bought. So whilst there is some risk in getting Donnarumma, there's also a risk of not doing, isn't there? I think Pep seen last year that Ederson, got on the ball, but he was injured a lot last season, so we had Ortega, so we didn't benefit either with him in there. And Ortega, I thought, was diabolical last year, quite frankly. So I don't want to see him hanging around as number two. So yeah, again, if Ederson can go out the door, get Donnarumma in, but I think that has to happen sort of this week, doesn't it? Because what do you say to Donnarumma? Just hang on. We might sell him, we might not. United will be sniffing around. Chelsea will be sniffing around. I know people say they're not, but I don't see how they can't not be. Chelsea can't win the league with those people who've got in there. They're awful. And United are going into the season with Onana injured, the Turkish bloke whose name escapes me, who they don't rate, and some people saying Tom Heaton's their best goalkeeper who hasn't played a game in 5 years. So, the idea that they're not looking for goalkeepers for the birds, isn't it? So if City can get it done, they should do it very, very quickly. Also, I don't think it's very helpful putting Trafford in net for the Wolves game, only to say, well, you're in for this one. but the big boy's coming next week. So, just try your best and see how it goes. It won't inspire confidence in him. It won't inspire confidence in the defence around him. You've got to make a decision. And if the decision is Ederson's going, Donnarumma's coming in my view, you should be doing that inside to be registered for the Wolves game. I know I'll do a Wolves preview. I'll listen to a Wolves fan today. He's down in the dumps, but so we might be able to cope with Trafford in that, but maybe we'll, maybe we won't. I don't think it's a risk worth taking. If we can get Donnarumma go and get it. Because whilst it is a change of style, and it is, go back 5 years, is it 6 years? Who do we have up front? Aguero, leading scorer of the club, banging him in, great style of play. Then what did we do? He left, then we had no one. There's false nines with Jesus on the wing, Foden up front, Gundogan up front, but KDB up front at times, and then we moved to Haaland. There's 3 dramatic shifts in style. So it can't be on the wit of Pep and the coaching staff. And bear in mind, we do have a coaching staff whose job it is to make people better. I don't see this as much of a problem, really. If you can upgrade the squad by buying Rodrigo, Champions League winner, Donnarumma, Champions League winner, that has got to be beneficial. Then, hey, Jamie Trafford, he played for Burnley last year in the Championship, and here's Savio, who scored 1 goal last year, and we hope he's going to get better. Which one do you want? I think I know which options I want. And what does it mean for James Trafford? Well, there's lots of questions around this transfer, and what it means for James Trafford is pretty low down on my list of questions, to be honest. But I'll ask it anyway. What does it mean for him? Well, it means he either stays and fights his place as number 1, or he doesn't. And worst way is we sell him this time next year for 40 odd million quid. I don't see anything else, really. I mean, the idea that City promised him that could be number 1 when Ederson leaves, I think that's for the birds. There is no way, in my view, that City have said, yeah, you come, and when Ederson goes, the shirt's yours, and we're going to buy a number 2 who you can kick balls around with, but he's not really here to challenge it because the number 1 spot's yours, mate. I just don't see that at all. So no, James Trafford, you can stay and play and fight for your place, as I can say. And go from there. And hopefully the competition will do both players the world of good. And a couple of the things we've got was the bid from Forest around for Rico Lewis. I think City should take a view on Rico. I like the guy. He's obviously not good enough to start right back full time, but there should be enough games this season where we might need him. For right back and in midfield at times. Those dead rubber Champions League games, the League Cup games, the home league games, and some home league games. In my view, he's homegrown as well. As a City fan, I would take a view that, sorry, it's too late. Come back next year. And if you haven't played enough, then fair dues, you can go. We won't stand in your way. But I think now it's too late to be flocking him. And then we're going to scratch around for another right back, another squad player. No, I think we should keep him. I like him in a way, as long as he doesn't play too often, if you know what I mean. But yeah, having another good. No one played well last year, really, did they? So I think it's unfair that we say he had a poor season. So I think he should play some minutes this year and then take a view at the end of the season and see how it goes. If they've offered 30 million, he's not going to be worth any less than 30 million next year, is he? So I don't think City have a problem with that. As for the World Cup, is Forest going to get into the World Cup? Maybe, maybe not. He's playing for City? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think that's much of a risk, to be honest. I think he should be looking at the Euros in 3 years, really, and go from there. Because I think if he plays for City, I think, and then still wants to move, I think he's probably better than Forest anyway. But who knows? And I'm sure we'll get more news on that in the coming days and the next week or so before the window shuts. So Pep will do his press conference on Friday, I think, won't we? So I'm sure we'll be asked all about this stuff. Thank you if you got this far. Thank you. And like I said, if this has come out, then there isn't any sound issues. I can see the sun coming through my window, so I'm going to stop now. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and thanks for the support. All the best.